What is up? Happy Sunday. How is everybody? I'm good. I'm a little bit tired this week. I worked like 6 days and then I only had the one day off, and then next week I work 5. So a little tired. My next day's off are Wednesday, Thursday. So looking forward to that. But yeah, we are here for our Oracle forecast for the week. The Oracle energy forecast. We're going to just take a look ahead and see what kind of energy the week holds for us. It's sort of like the vibrational weather forecast, if you will. Kind of gives us an idea of the conditions that we will be experiencing as we move through the week. And then tomorrow, on Mondays, we do our anchor message, and that gives us sort of like the curriculum for Soul School for the week. It talks about what themes and lessons we'll be working with. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, I'm Liz_Taylor_magic, magic with a CK, just like this channel. And on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I write up our post earlier in the day and post it there, so you can go read about it before we talk about it in the evenings. All right, I'm pretty excited. I'm feeling good things brewing. The wind just blew through and like brought through so much change. I felt like it really like blew the stagnancy and the energy in the winter just kind of like out, and spring feels like it's on the way. It's imminent. It's been kind of warm the last few days again, so very exciting here. Feeling pretty motivated, even though I should be exhausted, but I'm excited for the week to come. So let's see. What if we flip over sorrow? I'm gonna freaking throw it out the window. Expand! Yay! I love this. So I love this. I feel the energy already. It's like we have been finishing out the final phases of the 2022 energetic year. It's like last call for 2022 themes. And so everything's just sort of wrapping up, and we're really getting a second to just kind of emotionally and mentally catch our breath before our life really expands and blows up. I really feel like we're poised, or we're on the precipice of a major expansion in either one area or multiple areas in our life. But I feel good things happening. I feel that this year is going to be like a series of initiations, and they're going to be, they might be less intense this year than last year, but it's like these pop quizzes so that we can embody this new up-leveled self and like really start up-leveling in our lives. And so the universe is going to give us a bunch of light to expand us. And then after the expansion is when there's, little pop quizzes and little tests to see, how we react to life's circumstances as our new selves, right? We don't want to be reactive anymore. We're trying to really take our time and be conscious co-creators and use our free will and try to live in this like new state of consciousness, and not just fall back into those default settings, right? Those patterns that we get triggered and then we just like react and we don't think, right? So we're trying to overcome that. So I'm feeling really good. I think we've all been like doing a lot of work in that direction. I feel that even people that are just kind of like showing up now and hearing about this for the first time, I feel like it's clicking. It's like we're all like, yeah, we're riding this wave in the zeitgeist and everybody's feeling it. So very exciting. Big expansion is coming. So within the To Be Magnetic work, this is the brand that they're all about manifestation through changing your neural pathways and rewriting your subconscious. So they have a lot of neuroscience built in. It's not just like the usual like metaphysical approach. However, it is, but it's also science-based. So it involves like going back and healing your early childhood trauma and rewriting your subconscious patterning, using like hypnotic meditative exercises. And then there are other aspects. One of them, so there are three main things are unblock, expand, and take action. So the unblocking is getting rid of all that subconscious stuff that stands in the way. That's what we're doing in Kabbalah when we're cleansing the vessel, when we're breaking our shells of negativity, right? These aren't like their own like unique concepts. These are just really convenient and digestible ways that they've taken these metaphysical truths and packaged them in a very like crispy clean format, if you will. So the steps: unblock the subconscious, unblock your beliefs that these things are possible, which leads you into expansion. So expanding is when you expand your consciousness, when you expand your beliefs, when you grow your faith and you grow your self-worth to believe that there is so much more possible. And part of the expansion process is not just asking you to go out on a limb and believe it, but it is actually giving you these steps of finding people who are very similar to you, who start or did start in the same circumstances or very similar and went after the same goals or manifested the same kind of partner or the same kind of home that you wanted, or they did what you wanted to do in your business or your career, your purpose or whatever. You see these examples of people who have pulled off exactly what you want to do. And it helps if you can find people that are as similar to you in your circumstances as possible, because the idea of it is so that you can see like, oh, well, if they can do it, there's no reason that I can't, right? We're pretty evenly yoked, you know, same situation, same goal. So it just shows you what's possible. So get out there and find things that expand your consciousness and expand your beliefs about what's possible for you. There's even like, if you can't find someone that is equally yoked and in the same circumstances that's like super similar to you, then you can find what they call bridge expanders, which are, these are fragment expanders. Fragment expanders are people who exhibit, like they maybe have pulled off the what you want to do. Like they started the business that you wanted to do. Say you want to be a lingerie designer, right? You don't have to find somebody who's just like you. You can go out and find like some of these really cool like indie lingerie designers on Instagram, right? And then save the pictures of the people who really inspire you that reflect what you want to create. You make a folder, right? That's just a really convenient way to do it. I have an expanders folder on my Instagram, and I save like people who are doing things that inspire me, that are in alignment with my vision, that reflect the kind of my plan. It's like a living vision board, if you will. But these are real examples of people really doing it. So you're showing yourself it's possible, and you're also teaching yourself. It's like you're soaking in, the methods and, some of the reverse engineering about what works about what they're doing, and then you can look and see like, okay, well, I would tweak this for me, or I would change this out or whatever. Then there are another kind of expander called bridge expanders. And bridge expanders are like, for instance, say you got, so it's like they're a stepping stone. Say where you want to be is such a far leap from where you are now, and you can't believe, like you can't see that reality. It's like you want to be an astronaut and you or something like that. Like you're like, I don't know if I can really do that. But like, can you believe that you could go to the Air Force, right? Like maybe you could believe that. And so that's a bridge expander. It's like, okay, I know I can get there. And then from there, people can like go, they become pilots and, whatever. So a bridge expander. That might come in the form of like a job. There's things called bridge jobs in their lingo that they talk about, and it's like if you're trying to manifest your dream job or your dream career, but let's say you haven't built the vessel yet. You know how we talk about that concept of like building the vessel means, you know, having discipline or building experience, or, you know, doing the work, putting the effort in so you appreciate, you know. So you have the capacity to sustain and maintain the light that you're receiving. So a bridge job might be a job that's not your dream job, but it's a job that helps you get to where you want to go, whether that be like learning the skills that you need that are going to serve you in that career, or, you know, working alongside people who are great expanders for you that you can learn from. Or even just if it's a job that provides you all the resources and flexibility and things that you need that allow you to focus on that goal, that dream, and, you know, doesn't take too much of your, you know, it doesn't suck you up. But whatever the bridge job is, it's propping you up, it's pushing you forward into that next direction. So these are all great ways to expand. But our life is about to expand. Our consciousness is about to expand. So really open your mind, broaden what your vision is and what you think is possible. Like, don't broaden your vision in a way that like dilutes your attention and your focus, but definitely open up to possibilities that may not have even occurred to you, that may not have even been on your radar, right? All right, very exciting already. Ooh, what is this? Ooh, release. Oh my God, this is essentially unblock. So, join to be magnetic. Release. So we're letting go of the bugaboos here, and these are the scaries, the insecures, the subconscious patternings, the things that are ready to die and fall away and actually be transmuted into something nourishing and useful and healthy, right? Me and my friend at work the other day, we were talking about taking fear and transmuting it into inspiration and motivation, or, you know, that's a good way to put it. Or like anxiety, like if you have anxiety, you can transmute that anxiety and put it into intention and focus, right? Or throw it into a workout. But you can take these negative emotions, and instead of burying them or trying to anesthetize them and numb them, you can actually use them and literally change them into positivity. And sorry, the notification. That's kind of what part of our assignment in this world. Like we're given this little pile, this little bag of like density that we have to transmute in this life. And part of that is like turning our subconscious patterns around, being able to change our mood and not be so affected by everything, right? Being able to be resilient and bounce back. Like, you know, feel the feelings, but don't hold on, don't wallow in them. Just allow them to be and be with them in that moment and accept them. And then they digest naturally. They just move through you. So we're releasing, right? Let emotions release that are coming up that they want to be processed and let go of. Really lend yourself to that. I have felt so weepy through this Pisces season, and I haven't necessarily been like sad or anything. It's just that there's been so much coming up that it's themes that I've been working on, you know, that we've all been talking about together for the last year or so. But I think it's just finishing all of that up and just being done with all that old baggage. It's like, oh gosh, we've sifted through it a lot. We've made a lot of headway here, made a lot of scrapbooks. Now we're kind of ready to move on to another project, to move forward. You put the scrapbooks in the library, you know, and incorporate them in the house now, as it were. So yeah, we're unblocking limiting beliefs. We're unblocking ourselves from limiting beliefs, but limited perceptions or consciousness, closed-mindedness, right? We're releasing our projections, our assumptions, our worries, like just whatever is negative that's got you crawling up the wall, whatever's bugging you, just let it go. Let it go. Oh my gosh, you know, so then the third part of the process, of course, these are broad strokes, right? They're a little bit more detailed than what we're going to be talking about tonight. But the third thing is to take action. So it's like you're unblocking your subconscious, you're expanding what you believe is possible and what you feel that you're worth, like you're deepening your self-worth, and then you take action based on what they refer to as pings, which is basically just an easy word to grab at to describe when you get intuitive hits that you should do something. So basically they take the word intuitive hit and they call it a ping. So, but you get like this intuitive guidance, this like compelling sense that's not a reactive compelling sense, but you feel moved in a direction with like a certain kind of weight and certainty. So then you take action on those, and you just learn to trust that even if it doesn't make sense, that it's like, oh, well, what are you going to do? Make a mistake? Like, you know, try not to make huge mistakes, but like be willing to like take a risk and just follow it and see where it goes. And that's how you also sharpen your intuition. But many times that you'll find that the universe is actually lining you up with a really amazing synchronicity that's bringing you closer to your manifestation, if not to your manifestation. So listen is our next card. So listen to those pings, listen to your intuition, listen to your gut instinct. And then this is connected to our final card, which is deception. So listen between the lines. Listen with your intuition this week. Watch for red flags to go off in your gut. And be careful not to lie to yourself, right? Because the thing is, when we're vibrating with something, it's true ingoing and outgoing, right? And so if we are, like, say we're vibrating with compassion, it means that we have compassion going out and coming in. Others will be compassionate to us. We can be compassionate to ourselves. We can give compassion because we're unblocked. We're vibrating with compassion. When your vessel is blocked to compassion, it can't flow in or out, right? So if you're vibrating with deception, it's going to attract more of the same. So make sure that you yourself are on the up and ups, that you're being honest with others, and that you're also being honest with yourself. This is where we have to be the most vigilant. Because it is so easy to lie to ourselves because we think that we're not hurting anyone, but we are. We're hurting ourselves and we're hurting the other involved elements and people in the situation, right? We need to be authentic. And so let's say you're lying to yourself about maybe you're hanging out with a bad crowd, that they're just like maybe they're partying too hard and they're kind of negative and they're kind of like depressing and they're making you feel kind of like down on yourself, and you're not really like living up to your potential, and it's just like this pattern, and you keep going through it and you keep going through the motions of these habits, and it's just like you're not getting anywhere and it's holding you back. But you keep telling yourself that it's okay, that, you know, you're just having fun, you know, this is fun, and you're not hurting anyone, and all of that, right? But you know that you're like, even though you're not having like terrible health problems or anything, you just know that this is holding you back. It's not good for you. But it's not causing chaos, so it's easy to just sort of turn a blind eye to, right? Same with like a relationship where if somebody was, you know, throwing off a lot of red flags and not treating you well, and it's like you keep trying to work on the relationship and you keep trying to give them another chance because you see the best in them. But really, you're lying to yourself, because deep down, you know that they're non-committal, or that they're, not good for you in some way or another. And if they were, it wouldn't be like, it would go smoother, right? But you just keep sticking with it because something about this person, or the idea of this person, or just wanting a relationship, like, you can't let go of it. So we lie to ourselves. We lie to ourselves all the time. So just watch that you don't lie to yourself, because it starts there at the seed level, and then you're vibrating with deception. Even though you're not hurting, or at least in your mind, you're not hurting anyone else, you're still deceiving yourself. And you're like second degree deceiving others, right? So authenticity is so important. That's why I'm always saying that, like, it's important to be kind and not nice. Nice goes along to get along. Nice is a liar. Nice is spineless. Nice snaps one day. Nice snaps one day and says, like, oh, I've been holding all this in and I've never said anything, but I've been resenting this the whole time, kind of thing. Kind is, I'm not afraid to ruffle some feathers, to be completely honest, so that we can protect this bond, because I believe that we can get through and weather the storm. But I can be compassionate, I can be kind, I can be, honest without being like cruel or mean, right? There's a difference. Like, kind has boundaries. Kind can say no. Kind can be honest. Like, but nice is like, I don't trust nice people. I just don't. I've gone out with nice people, and they're dangerous, because they're the people that don't communicate their needs. They're the people that will people please outside of the relationship at the cost of you, at the expense of your relationship or your comfort or your needs. They're just, it's not that they're bad people, it's just that they're a liability, honestly, when it comes to life on the greater sense. So yeah, I mean, deception can be very sneaky, and it can hide. It can be the wolf in sheep's clothing many, many times. So just watch for that. I can't help but notice that this illustration reminds me of especially because it's got the moon cycles here. So the Hebrew letter kuf means back of the head, and it is associated with the moon. And it has to do, and the moon is also associated with the subconscious. So pay attention to the ways that your subconscious is manipulating and deceiving you, right? Through those default patterns, through those self-defeating tendencies, right? Watch for your ego to try to deceive you in that way, like for this little voice in the back of your head or the subconscious. Pay attention to it. And it might try to tear down your sense of being proud of yourself, right? This is gonna chip away at your self-worth, right? Because we're listening to our intuition, we're following our pings, we're unblocking our old, patterning and the negativity that's keeping our light from radiating out and attracting what's truly authentic to us. And we're expanding, right? So yes, that means that part of the unblocking is that we are getting out of our own way, essentially, through getting rid of those, the tricks of the ego. Like, everybody has their own greatest hits, ego's greatest hits for you. I'm sure that each person has their own weaknesses and, things that they long for in their life. And so the ego plays on that. It plays on those insecurities. It plays on those desires, right, that are unmet. And so you have unique, probably, ways that your ego has always been lying to you. And so maybe that one of the final lessons of, like, wrapping up all of this, like, leaving the past behind us, because, like, the big timeline jump is happening. Like, we're in, like, the initial stages of, like, the last bit of leaving the old. We're walking through that, like, portal right now that's like the in-between, and we're walking into that new beginning. So maybe one of the last lessons, you know, that we are wrapping up is just the ways that we've deceived ourselves, the ways that our ego always tries to trick us. If we can identify those main themes that the ego has used, the main ego lies, the main things that the ego has lied to us about through our lives, and like have a list of those, our own top 10 greatest hits CD, then we can be invincible. If we can keep that kind of level of awareness going on all the time. So when those things come up, when the ego comes in and lies to us, we're like, you're a liar. I know this is the trick that you always use to get me to fall back into my old ways, and it's not going to work anymore. I'm a new person. I am smarter. I am wiser. I'm more experienced, and I have more discipline to pause and really take my time so that I can maintain this beautiful new life that I'm co-creating with my creator, and so that it can be an expression of divine through me, and authentic, and heaven on earth, essentially. But we got to get over these snakes that are, you know, nesting in the back of our head all the time, right? Well, all right, you guys, I'm feeling good for the week. We are expanding. We are unblocking. We are listening to our intuition, and we are paying close attention to our subconscious. We are listening between the lines this week. Others may be deceptive toward us, but I think that probably more than anything, like, actually, I mean, don't be paranoid thinking that everyone's lying to you, but there may be like something that's not quite, like somebody may not be totally upfront with you, or things may not be as they appear to be. Things may be deceptive, like appearances may be deceptive, because we're vibrating on a certain level of like getting through our own bullshit and like seeing through our own deception, that it could be revealing, like life could be like mirroring that back to us in some way this week on the outside, because like whatever is going on the inside, it gets reflected symbolically in the outer world. It's sort of like how our dreams at night like symbolically reflect our feelings about what's going on in the outer world. The inner world does that on the outer world. It's like an inverse kind of thing. So pretty cray cray. All right, y'all. I hope that you have a wonderful week. I hope that we are breaking through kind of our final call. Like the last battle is the one with the self, right? Duking it out. Coming to fisticuffs. But, you know, I've just been trying to tell my ego that it's safe, that we're not trying to annihilate the ego. We're just trying to get it to start working with us instead of against us. Because think about it. If you have a really healthy ego, then you have like, you know how everybody, like people have been like, everybody's having their villain moment is like the trend. And like if you are the kind of person that's usually an overgiver, and you're the empath that's like got like the narcissist like leeched onto you all the time, then you probably need to have a villain season and get a little bit more comfortable with that side of you that can say no, that can set a boundary, you know, that's not so nice, right? That's kind though. So we're correcting our ego so that we have that part of us that can play the strong villain when we need to. And not even a strong villain. It's not even that we're villainous. It's just that sometimes we're too kind to even protect ourselves. We're just too soft-hearted. We're too sweet. So we're just so sweet. But yeah, so have your little bit of a villain moment, and I will see y'all tomorrow for the weekly anchor message. All right. And like, don't go out and be villains, but you know what I mean. Just be a little bit more willing to, you know, stand your ground. Set boundaries, say no, shake it up, ruffle some feathers if you need to. Speak your truth. All right, y'all, ciao.